Welcome to this channel where we give you raw facts about women, sex and sexuality. We dive deep into the emotional, psychological, and sexual dynamics between men and women. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive video into what women really want emotionally, sexually, and psychologically. Most men believe that the only way to win a woman's attention is by flashing wealth, flexing muscles, or spamming her with attention. But what if I told you that one of the most underrated powerful qualities that drives a woman wild isn't physical, financial, or even verbal? It's discipline. Sexual discipline. A man who can control his sexual urges exudes a magnetic confidence most women can't resist. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't beg, he chooses. And he doesn't perform for validation, he knows his worth. In this video, we're diving deep into the female psyche, into the unspoken world of emotional and sexual psychology, to explore why sexually disciplined men are dangerously attractive to women. From emotional mastery to primal respect, we're breaking down 8 powerful reasons that make these men unforgettable. So if you're tired of being overlooked or undervalued by women, if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, this video might just be the wake-up call you need. Let's get into it. 1. He doesn't put women on a pedestal, and that's sexy. Let's start with something most guys never even consider. The way you treat women reveals how you see yourself. Sexually disciplined men don't idolize women, because they don't need to. They appreciate women, yes, but they're not emotionally or sexually dependent on female validation. That energy is rare and irresistible. Here's why. When a man isn't driven by the constant urge to impress, seduce, or please every woman he meets, women feel that. And they're intrigued. Because most guys either try too hard or fall into the nice guy trap, praising women excessively, offering too much too soon, and giving their energy away like it's nothing. But not the sexually disciplined man. He moves with control. He observes. He's polite but not pandering. He's direct but not desperate. He's present but not pressed. And this subtle difference in posture triggers something primal in women. Respect. And that respect turns into attraction. Because deep down, women want a man who can lead himself before he tries to lead her. They want to feel like they're with someone who could have anyone, but chooses to be selective. A man whose desire is a compliment, not a currency. This isn't about being arrogant or detached. It's about being in control of your desires, especially your sexual ones. A man who doesn't instantly drop everything the moment he sees curves and cleavage? That's not cold, that's powerful. That's the kind of restraint that makes women lean in. Wonder. Chase. Because women are wired to pursue what feels rare. And a man who doesn't pedestalize them? That man feels like a prize. 2. He builds anticipation instead of rushing pleasure. Let's be honest, most men are in a rush. They rush to text back, rush to take her out, rush to get her into bed, and then wonder why she loses interest so quickly. But the sexually disciplined man? He doesn't rush anything. He understands that seduction is a dance, not a sprint. This man knows that anticipation is one of the most powerful aphrodisiacs known to a woman. When he doesn't make his every move about sex, women become curious. When he holds eye contact without flinching, listens without interrupting, and touches without expectation, she starts to crave him, not just physically, but emotionally. You see, women fantasize not just about the act, but the build-up to the act. They want tension. They want mystery. They want space to wonder. Does he want me as much as I want him? And that's where sexual discipline becomes lethal. He's not depriving himself. He's mastering the art of momentum. He knows how to create silence that makes her heart race. He knows that sometimes, not touching her is more powerful than grabbing her waist. He can flirt without being obvious. Tease without being vulgar. Desire her without needing her. And that, gentlemen, makes her need him. Why? Because most women are used to men who take shortcuts to connection, who show interest just to get access to their bodies. But when a man delays gratification, when he makes her feel wanted, not used, she experiences him completely differently. She doesn't feel like a conquest, she feels like a queen. And once a woman feels like that around you, she'll give herself to you fully. Mind, body, and soul. So yes, delayed gratification isn't just powerful. It's erotic. It's rare. And it's unforgettable. 3. He's emotionally in control, and that's incredibly sexy. One of the most magnetic qualities a sexually disciplined man has? Emotional self-control. Listen closely. A man who can control his sexual urges isn't just physically strong, he's mentally unshakable. He doesn't get reactive when a woman pulls back. He doesn't spiral when she's testing boundaries. He doesn't chase validation, affection, or approval. Because he's grounded in himself. And this level of emotional maturity, it's rare. Let me tell you what really happens when a man walks into a room like this. Women feel it before he even speaks. He's calm, unbothered, not cold, but collected. His eyes scan the room, not like he's hunting, but like he's already chosen. When he speaks, he's intentional. When he listens, it's deep. And when he touches, it's electric, because it's not needy. It's decisive, masculine, present. And you know what that does to a woman? It makes her let go. She relaxes. She surrenders. Because deep down, most women are tired of being the emotionally stronger one. They're tired of men who crumble under pressure, who can't handle rejection, who explode when things don't go their way. So when they meet a man who's emotionally stable and sexually grounded, they see him not just as attractive, but as a protector. A man of depth. A man worth surrendering to. This is the man who doesn't need her to complete him, so she wants to offer him everything. He's not swayed by her looks, not desperate for intimacy, not begging for her time. Instead, he stands still and strong in his masculine presence, and lets her come to him. And make no mistake, that control, that quiet power, that's the thing she'll fantasize about long after the night is over. It's not the loudest man who wins. It's the one who doesn't flinch when tested. The one who knows who he is. And doesn't need sex to prove it. That's emotional dominance. That's sexual discipline. And that's what makes her want to give him everything. 4. He delivers better sexual experiences, because he's not just focused on himself. Let's not sugarcoat it. Women can feel when a man is just trying to get off. When it's all about him. When the end goal is just release. And that's the kind of sex that leaves her feeling more used than satisfied. But a sexually disciplined man? He's a different kind of lover altogether. Why? Because he's not ruled by the urgency of his own desire. He isn't rushing. He's tuned in. He's aware. And he knows the power of anticipation, of building tension, of reading her body language and energy in real time. He understands that foreplay starts outside the bedroom. With a look. With a whisper. With emotional intimacy that lays the groundwork for deeper, more explosive physical connection. You see, women crave more than penetration. They crave connection. They want to feel seen, wanted, safe, and worshipped. And a man who isn't constantly chasing a quick release, he has the patience, the depth, and the intention to give her exactly that. Sexually disciplined men don't just perform in bed, they lead. They create an experience. They focus on her pleasure. They know how to build her up slowly until she's not just moaning, she's melting. And because they're not rushing to the finish line, they last longer. They make her feel like time has slowed down. Like she's the only woman on earth in that moment. And believe me, that's unforgettable. Now here's the twist most guys miss. When a woman feels deeply satisfied, emotionally and physically, she connects. She bonds. And often, she becomes loyal without even trying. Because in her world, that kind of experience, it's rare, it's sacred, and it's addictive. So when a man brings presence, patience, and power into the bedroom, not just pressure to get some, he doesn't just sleep with her. He leaves an imprint. That's what sexually disciplined men do. They don't just have sex. They create intimacy that echoes. 5. He has mastered delayed gratification, which makes her obsess over him. Let's talk about something that makes women wildly curious and secretly obsessed with a man. His ability to delay gratification. Most men, the moment there's a green light, they floor the gas. They're quick to move, quick to touch, quick to beg. But a sexually disciplined man? He doesn't operate like that. He's calm. He's unbothered. He has the self-control to pull back when it's tempting to lean in. To wait when others rush. To tease without chasing. And that drives women crazy, in the best way. You see, delayed gratification isn't just about self-restraint. It's about control. It's about power. It sends a message that says, I'm not in a hurry, because I know what I'm worth. And here's the deeper psychology. Women are more attracted to men who appear to have options, but aren't desperate to take any of them. A man who can sit across from her, gaze into her eyes, flirt, connect, spark chemistry, and still not push for sex, becomes a challenge. He becomes intriguing. He becomes a mental puzzle she wants to solve. Because he's not following the predictable script. He's writing his own. And that signals maturity, mystery, and confidence. The kind of confidence that says, I can have you, but I don't need you. That's intoxicating. And the more he holds back, strategically, playfully, intentionally, the more she leans in. She wonders what it would feel like to be with him. She fantasizes about what he's holding back. And before she knows it, she's emotionally invested. Because here's a truth most men will never realize. Anticipation is a stronger aphrodisiac than instant pleasure. When a man has the discipline to delay, he doesn't just spark interest. He burns desire deep into her mind. And when she finally gets him, when he finally gives in, it's not just sex. It's a reward. It feels earned. And that makes it unforgettable. Sexually disciplined men don't just hold out for the sake of pride. They delay because they understand the power of timing. They know the longer the build-up, the stronger the emotional explosion. That's what keeps women coming back. Not just for the experience, but for him. 6. He makes her feel safe enough to be her naughty self. There's a version of every woman that the world doesn't see. A side that's hidden beneath layers of good girl behavior, social pressure, and performance. But when a man is sexually disciplined, he creates a space where that version of her, the wild, playful, uninhibited version, can finally come out. You see, most men are in such a rush to get to sex, they forget the one thing women need most. Safety. Not just physical safety, but emotional safety, psychological safety. The kind that says, you can be your full self here, and I won't judge you for it. That's what sexually disciplined men provide. Because they're not needy. They're not pushy. They're not performing to impress. They're present. They're patient. They're focused on the connection, not just the conquest. And that changes everything. When a woman senses that you're not trying to pressure her, when she feels you're not going to use intimacy as a weapon or a scorecard, she lets go. She relaxes. She melts into her femininity. And this is the magic most men miss. Women become their freakiest, most sensual, most expressive selves with a man who makes them feel emotionally protected. Not the guy who texts, WYD, at 11 p.m. Not the one who pressures her with compliments. Not the one who makes her feel like she's just another girl in rotation. But the one who listens. The one who's curious. The one who has nothing to prove, because he knows exactly who he is. A sexually disciplined man isn't out here begging for attention. He's mastering his energy. And she can feel that. It's grounding. It's masculine. It's rare. She knows she can open up without being taken advantage of. She can explore her desires without being shamed. She can reveal the part of her that's dying to be seen, without fear. And you want to know what's wild? Once that side of her comes out with you, she'll struggle to imagine being that way with anyone else. You become her safe space. You become her secret escape. You become her addiction. Because you didn't rush her. You didn't demand anything. You gave her room to bloom. And she'll associate her sexual awakening with you. That's not just attraction. That's deep imprinting. And only sexually disciplined men ever unlock it. 7. She knows he can delay pleasure for deeper intimacy. Here's the truth that most men will never fully grasp. Women crave depth over speed. And when it comes to sex, nothing screams emotional maturity like a man who can delay his own pleasure, for the sake of intimacy. Not just performance. Not just ego. But real, layered, emotionally charged connection. Because a sexually disciplined man doesn't just chase climax. He savors the process. He's not in a hurry to finish. He's in a state of presence so strong, it becomes addictive. And she feels that. She knows this man isn't controlled by lust. He's controlling lust. He's playing the long game, mentally, physically, emotionally. Let me explain what this actually means in real time. While most men are trying to speed up the experience, the sexually disciplined man is slowing it down. He's paying attention to her breath, to her body's responses, to her emotional state. He's attuned. That kind of slowness, that kind of self-control, it creates a psychological trigger in her brain. This man knows how to handle me. He's not overwhelmed by my body. He's leading, and that is power. She doesn't just respect him. She begins to revere him. Because here's what happens when you delay pleasure intentionally. You increase tension. You heighten anticipation. You build emotional suspense, which, in a woman's brain, magnifies desire exponentially. So now, sex is no longer a physical act. It becomes an emotional event. A memory she replays. A moment she can't forget. And she starts to associate you with emotional satisfaction, not just sexual release. Women want to feel like you're making love to their mind, not just their body. They want to feel chosen, not just desired. A man who can delay gratification is a man who doesn't seek validation through sex. He seeks connection through energy, through eye contact, through rhythm, through patience. And let's be real, that's rare. That's unforgettable. She will always choose the man who makes her feel emotionally naked before she ever gets physically naked. That's the secret to owning her mind and her body. And a sexually disciplined man does both. 8. He's rare, and women crave what other women can't have. Let's be honest for a second. In today's world, where hookup culture has normalized impulsive pleasure and instant gratification, a man who doesn't jump at every sexual opportunity becomes dangerously rare. And women notice that. You want to know one of the deepest female turn-ons? It's knowing that you could have any woman, but you don't. Because your self-control is stronger than your ego. You're not begging for attention. You're not performing for validation. You're curating access to your energy, your body, your time, and especially your sex. Here's the thing. Women instinctively compete, not always overtly, but psychologically. So when a woman sees that you're not easy to seduce, when she realizes you won't bend just because she's attractive, when she learns she can't simply distract you with her body, she wants you more. Because now, in her mind, you've just separated yourself from 95% of other men. You've told her, without saying a word, I'm not like the rest. And if you want me, you're going to have to show up as more than just a pretty face. That's magnetic. You become the challenge. You become the standard. You become the prize. And the women who are emotionally evolved enough will want to meet that standard. They'll bring more to the table. They'll open up. They'll invest. Because you are no longer a man she's trying to impress. You're the man she doesn't want to lose. Let me make this even clearer. A sexually disciplined man does not chase women. He creates such a powerful gravitational pull through his focus, control, and emotional grounding. Women start chasing him. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The more disciplined you are, the more feminine energy you naturally draw in. Why? Because feminine energy is magnetized to masculine restraint, to silence, to intentionality, to calm strength. And in a society filled with overstimulated, attention-starved, pleasure-driven males, the man who can walk away becomes unforgettable. He's not just sexually attractive. He's emotionally irresistible. Because when you're selective with your body, you're telling her, I know my worth, and I don't give it away easily. That is power. That is mystery. That is what women crave. The man other women talk about but never get to keep. And when she gets you, she'll know she's earned something precious. Something rare, respected, and undeniably arousing. Gentlemen, sexual discipline isn't about repression. It's about powerful control. It's about leading the experience, not being pulled by it. It's about becoming the man women dream about but almost never encounter. If you want to rise above the average and own a woman's heart, mind, and body, start by owning yourself. Because the man who can master his impulses can master any woman.